Hi, I'm Veronica Wasek with 5-Minute Bookkeeping, and I empower virtual bookkeeping pros to become confident professionals and business owners. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how to say no when you're an introvert bookkeeper. So how do you say no when you're an introvert bookkeeper? Well, learning to say no was probably one of the hardest lessons that I have learned as a business owner. And it was very hard for me to say no because I wanted to help so many people. But as I gained more confidence, I actually figured out that the more that I said no to the wrong opportunities and the wrong clients, the more my business grew. So who knew? So in this video, I'm going to just go over some of the lessons that I have learned and the tips that I can share with you so that you can learn how to confidently say no even when you're an introvert bookkeeper. In order for us to learn how to say no to the wrong clients and wrong opportunities, we need to understand first and know what our ideal business looks like. So do you want to build a business that perhaps is a high volume type of business with lots of clients and maybe lower fees, or maybe a low volume business with less clients and charging higher fees? Think about whether you want to stay a solopreneur if you're a solopreneur, or if you want to have a team. What does your lifestyle look like? Do you want to work a lot of hours? Do you want to have more of a lifestyle business? Think about that and really have a very clear vision for what your ideal business looks like. Then once you do that, then I want you to focus on who your ideal client is. And again, be very clear on who that is. Now, I will be doing a separate video talking more about how to identify your ideal client. But it is very important for you to know, again, what that ideal business looks like for you and who your ideal client is. And then we need to start thinking about what we're going to say no to. We're going to say no to the wrong services, perhaps services that we don't really have the skill set to do, or we don't have the capacity to take on. Wrong opportunities. Sometimes opportunities come our way. Sometimes we can make a lot of money from these opportunities, but maybe it's not the right opportunity for you. And especially saying no to the wrong clients. So that's what we need to say no to. But our current reality right now is that we are saying no to a very small number of clients and saying yes to pretty much anything, anybody for anything. And that's exactly what I did when I started my business in 2010. I was just saying yes to whomever. As long as they could pay, I would take them on. And while that can work for a while, at some point, once you become more experienced, once you have been in business for a couple of years, you need to start pivoting and really focusing on actually saying no a lot more. So your goal is to say no more to the wrong clients and the wrong opportunities, and actually to say yes to a smaller number of clients. But those are the clients that are your ideal clients and the clients that will enable you to build the business of your dreams, the business that you want to have. And as I said before, when I started saying no to lots of the wrong opportunities and started saying yes to a lot less clients, my business took off. So who do we need to say no to? Because, okay, yes, Veronica, I hear what you're saying, but who do I need to say no to? How do I know what to say no to? Well, I have learned a lot in my 10 years of business, so I'll share with you my tips. First, you need to really learn how to read your prospective clients. And there are some telltale signs when they're talking to you and when they're saying things to you. You need to really listen to what they're saying and then figure out if they would be a good client for you. By far the most common type of prospect that we get is the one that is asking, how much do you charge? And usually they lead the conversation with, how much do you charge? And typically what they're saying to you is, I am price sensitive. So you don't necessarily have to turn these people away, but just be aware that those are the issues that you're going to come across, and then you have to decide whether this is an ideal client for you. The next type of prospective client is the one that is asking, how do I do this, or how do I do that? And again, they lead the conversation with a question, and they're typically picking your brain, and they're typically wanting free advice. So this is the kind of prospective client that wants something for free. And they may take up a lot of your time. And again, I have been there. I know what it's like when you're trying to be so helpful, and you'll spend an hour and a half giving them all this information because you think, oh, well, if I give them all this information, and if I help them for free, then they'll hire me. And they don't, because they're typically looking for something for free. The next prospective client that comes our way will likely say, I haven't filed a tax return in 3 years, or I'm trying to get myself organized, but it's been 5 years since I've done anything with my bookkeeping. And what they're really saying is, I am a procrastinator. And this type of client is probably the most difficult one to deal with, because you want to help them, but because they procrastinate, it's very, very hard to help them. I have worked with procrastinator clients, and even when they have paid me, they have paid me a lot of money, they end up really disappearing on me, and it gets very frustrating, and it's just so time consuming to try to get them back on track, and many of them just sort of disappear. So beware of the procrastinators. Then you have some prospective clients that they have big plans. They're telling you about all the great things they're going to do, and I'm going to start 3 companies, and I'm going to need your services, and they just talk and talk, and they take up a lot of your time telling you all about their big plans. But what they're really saying is, I'm a dreamer, and they just want to share all their dreams with you, but they don't do anything because they're not really implementing any of their ideas and not really doing anything about their dreams. So beware, because this type of prospective client will take up a lot of time telling you about all the great things they're going to do, but they don't become a client. And this is another one to be aware of. The one that starts with, I want you to do blah, blah, blah. I want you to only do this for my books, or I only want you to do XYZ, or I want you to do it this way. I don't want to use any apps, or I only want you to use this app and no other app. So what they're really saying is, they're a controller. I control people. So they want to be in control. But you need to be aware that if you're the professional, you should be in control. That's what a client hires you to do, is to solve their biggest problems, to bring solutions to them. So when you work with someone who's trying to control things, they're not going to let you be at your best, because they will continually control everything that you do, and ultimately they're not qualified to do that, and usually are very difficult people to deal with anyway. Then we have the person that says, I want you to do something, and it's usually illegal or unethical. I talk to prospects sometimes who say, well, I want you to make the book look as best as possible, but I also don't want to pay taxes. And I usually will say, hey, the numbers are what they are, and it's up to your tax accountant to figure out some tax strategies for you. But I can't change the numbers for your desired outcome. And these are people who can't be trusted, and most definitely, please stay away from these kinds of people. Say no. Absolutely say no to someone who wants you to do something illegal or unethical. And then there's the person that they just want to talk a lot. They just want to know all about you, and they're so friendly. And again, they take up a lot of your time talking. And what they're saying is, I want to be your friend, but I can't afford you. And so they'll just talk, for an hour. You think, hey, I'm going to get this client. And then they don't even ask about pricing. You have to bring it up because they just keep talking. And when you bring up pricing, then they just say like, oh, I didn't know it would cost that much. And again, you spent all of that time talking to them and they didn't become a client. So beware of the person who wants to be your friend but can't afford your services. All right, so then now that we know what some of the wrong types of clients are that we need to be aware of, how do we say no with confidence? And again, as I said, that was a very hard thing for me to learn because I am introverted, because I wasn't very assertive when I started my business. And I didn't like confrontation, and I just felt guilty for saying no. So let's go ahead and take a look at some ways in which you can confidently say no. First of all, you need to set the tone from the beginning. So from the time that you start talking to that prospective client, you need to set the right tone. What I tell my prospective clients is right away when we start the conversation is, this is a free discovery call for me to learn about you and your business needs, and for you to learn about me and my business, and to see if we'd be a good fit for working together. So I'm basically saying, by setting the tone, that I'm not here to give you free advice. I'm not here to kind of waste each other's time. We're going to learn about each other and figure out if we should work together. So that sets the tone right away. If they try to ask me for free advice, I may answer a couple of questions here and there, but only to really position myself as the expert. And if they continue to ask me questions, I just say, hey, that would require a paid consultation, and then I give them pricing for that. So how do we say no? Well, first of all, you need to keep it short and simple. Remember that this is business, so this is not personal, it's not a confrontation, it's not a popularity contest. It's actually completely acceptable in a business setting to say no to another business person. And you'll get comfortable over time. You'll learn how to be more assertive and how to say no. And really, the more that you say no, the more that you'll get used to saying it. So how do we say it then? Well, you can just say, thank you, but, thank you, but I only work with, for me, I only work with Shopify sellers. This would not be a good fit, or I would not be a good fit for working with you. This is not a project I'm interested in taking on right now. I've used that quite a bit. I don't think we'd be a good fit for working together. Thank you, but I'm not taking cleanup clients right now. Or thank you, but I'm not taking training clients right now. Or this project is not a good fit for my business model. As an example, I work with Shopify clients. I recently narrowed down my niche to work with Shopify clients, and some of them want to use like Shopify and some app that I don't use. I prefer to use A2X to integrate Shopify and QuickBooks Online. And so I just tell them that, hey, I would not be a good fit for you because my workflow, the tools that I use are QBO and A2X. I don't work with this other app. And they just say, oh, okay, thank you for your time, and we end the call. So again, just you need to practice saying these things. Have a couple of go-to responses that you can recall and that you can say confidently. And as I said, over time, you'll get more comfortable saying it. The biggest takeaway that I want you to learn is that no is a complete sentence. And I've heard this from someone on Facebook. I'm not sure if this is a quote that I need to attribute to someone, but no is a complete sentence. So remember, no is a complete sentence. Practice saying no, and you'll soon be confident and be able to say no to the wrong opportunities and wrong clients. I'm Veronica Wasek with 5 Minute Bookkeeping. Check the description box below for all of my free resources, including the free virtual toolbox, the link to join my Facebook community, and also learn about my academy for virtual bookkeepers. If this content is helping you, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, and give me a thumbs up. And I'm here to help you. So let me know in the comments if there are any other topics that you'd like me to do in the future. I'll see you next time.